Hey, my name is Martino from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm going to be teaching Rhett here how to do some landscape photography. So I got a 17-35 on this Canon 60. He's working with a 70-200. They're a little bit different. Basically how they differ is how they compress the background and stuff like that. With your 70-200, you're going to get a lot more compressed background, so it's going to look like maybe your subject is right on top of the background. Yeah, if we just take a few shots here, see what kind of work we get, and I'll let you know from there. So see, pay attention to your background and some of the subject in the foreground here. So see that sidewalk coming in and everything.
Distracting.
Yeah, just kind of pay attention to a couple of things like that. That blue garbage can in the back, absolutely. Do you have any questions?
So should I be, which mode should I be in right now?
So I like to shoot in manual, and I highly suggest that all of my students shoot in manual as well too. This is going to teach you how to slow down, how to really be one with your camera. You're going to have full control of all of your settings, your shutter speed, your aperture, your ISO, everything, your exposure compensation, all of that's going to be at your control. If you're uncomfortable with that, as we shoot for the rest of the day, I could definitely help teach you some of those pointers and how to get good at, memorizing your finger button positions and all that, which shutter speed should go up or aperture down. I can help you with all of that throughout the day. All right, so we're at a different location now. I just wanted to show you kind of how to do a wide angle landscape photography with leading lines, vantage points, maybe a perspective, of course, and now if you want to include a subject, say like, for instance, the light pole, since we don't have maybe like a human subject or anything like that, we'd just be using the light pole as your foreground.
Sure.
That light pole is your background, and so what that does is you can mess with your depth of field. Are you familiar with depth of field?
I think like aperture, right?
Yeah. So your aperture controls your depth of field, and your depth of field is just a fancy word for how much your foreground and your background is in focus when you're focused on one or the other. So why don't you go ahead and give it a shot, and
Sure.
Let's see what you make.
Cool, how about this?
We'll see. Yeah, absolutely. So that's beautiful. Your foreground image, being that front lamp, is perfectly composed. You're shooting at f2.8, so you see how the background's getting a little blurry there? Yeah, that's beautiful. So you really bring your viewer's attention to that front subject. So yeah, really well done. And as you look through the photo, you'll see vanishing lines with the sidewalks leading down. You have leading lines with that tree branch there. Your perspective leads to the back of the pathway. It's just a really, really nicely composed image. Yeah, you're doing really well.
So leading means like leading the eye with the line?
Yes, yeah. So it's pretty much self-explanatory. It just leads your eye as a viewer through the image, through the composition.
Nice.
Absolutely.